Okay, guys, so now it's all tumbling and I'm finally figuring it out. It's all just tumbling out of my head now. Everything, all of my hunches and my theories and everything about exercise and hot yoga and the detoxes and the exercise enthusiasts and endorphin creating activities such as sex and all of that stuff, they all produce antibodies, natural killer cells. They destroy the body. So here's the thing, in nature, okay, my dog gets exercise. She doesn't need it every single day. I don't go and overdo it, okay? But when she gets to that point where she needs to go out and walk around, I'll do that. She releases endorphins, whatever stress she has, she does that, and that's fine. And then she's good for the next few days. But when you do too much exercise, and some of you know who you are exercise enthusiasts, that's when you start tapping into those natural killer cells, and then you are creating all these antibodies and has an opioid effect. You get these endorphins, it has an opioid effect, and now you're addicted to that exercise to the point of where you actually kill yourself because of the exercise. Like, everything has a balance. And that's why I say, you guys, don't do exercise on my protocol. I mean, if that is your profession, if that is something that feeds your family, then you better drink massive amounts of my juice. Hey, Kathy. Because too much exercise does create antibodies, endorphins, like so much sex. When you want to have sex every single day, 10 times a day, there's something wrong with you. You're trying to anesthetize yourself in some way. The body knows there's something wrong with it. That's how it manages and deals with pain. When people are exercise enthusiasts and they're out there running every single day, miles and miles and miles and miles, or they're like triathletes, biathletes, marathonists, whatever, you are addicted to a painkiller. That's called your own natural killer cells. That's an opioid addiction that is socially acceptable. So when someone shows off their six-pack, I know they're addicted. When someone out there is constantly exercising, that's like, some kind of like a neuro something. I forget that name. But they have a disorder. People who are really, really sick, they turn to exercise because it's an opioid effect. And then they're told by their doctors, oh, you need to do more exercise. Oh, go walk 2 or 10 miles a day. Healthy people don't need to exercise. The only time that you need to go and run is because you're in danger. Like when the people in California, when those fires were so intense and coming at them so quick, they couldn't afford to sit in their car and wait for the guy in front of them to go. No, they had to get the hell out of their car and freaking run. That's when your endorphins, that's when those natural killer cells to then, so you don't feel pain because you're running, that's when you need them. Not to induce on a daily basis like these exercise enthusiasts who are aging rapidly in the system. Jack LaLanne, Richard Simmons, Jillian Michaels, who else? Diana Summers or Donna Summers, whatever her name is. All these exercise enthusiasts are rapidly aging because they're addicted to the opioid effect of the endorphins, the natural killer cells that are anesthetizing them. And then that's something, our society is such a drug addict society. Everyone wants to anesthetize themselves either with drugs, with alcohol, with exercise, with fear porn, with sex porn, all of that. So, and I knew this. Any type of detox that's out there is another anesthetizing, opioid, endorphin-inducing type of protocol that basically just keeps people zombified until they die. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Now, I didn't have all of the science figured out. I couldn't really specifically articulate exactly. We knew that there was an imbalance and no one should be living off of, oh, thank you, Suzanne Sommer. Thank you. We knew people couldn't live off of endorphins and antibodies and opioids like indefinitely. But that's what exactly endorphins are. It's an anesthetizing agent. So that way you can run away and not feel pain and stopping you, right? Because, so what you do is if you're like, getting chased by like a bear or a fire, you're going to probably do some pretty, miraculous stuff to escape that dangerous situation. When I was in Hawaii one time, oh my God, when I was in Hawaii one time, this is so funny. This talks about the body's reaction to stuff, right? And you're doing superhuman type stuff. And there's these huge like cockroaches that fly. So we were in this upstairs deck eating, and of course it's right near the ocean. But this one cockroach came and hit me in the freaking head, right? Oh my God, my natural reaction, I jumped up probably like 10 feet out of the air. 10 feet out of the air and landed in somebody else's lap. I didn't know how the hell I got there. Thank you, Heather Scott and Sharice Beck. I don't know how I got there, but my endorphins, that natural reaction to that fight or flight, that adrenaline got me from like my seat into somebody else's seat in like 2 seconds flat. And I don't even know how I did it. It was just like the fight or flight mode was there. But you live like that constantly, that does age you. And exercise is no different than somebody that fights fires every single day, or is an ambulance chaser every single day, or is a policeman who is always out there dealing with the criminals. That's what I'm saying. The policemen and firemen and all of these different professions, these first responders, they need my juice way more than most people. Okay? Because they're getting constant endorphins and antibodies being created because of that the adrenaline stuff. So that is why I innately knew that exercise was actually detrimental to the body. Did I have all the language? No. But I knew in my mind. And discernment is really not the right way to use that. Discernment, that's very vague. So I'm going to delete that comment. Discernment, what does that actually mean? Discernment is based upon your biochemistry. If your biochemistry is like completely out of whack, then what does discernment mean? It's all subjective. Okay? So anybody that's new on my Facebook and you're not my friend, watch your comments, because I'm in a major deleting frenzy right now, because I have too many holistic people coming on my Facebook trying to impose their bullshit on me, and I'm not going to have it. So Alicia Rubel, thank you. Hi, thank you. I always felt the same. Yeah. I'm watching right now a lady who is like, always exercising. She's aging rapidly, but wait, she has a nice ass. She has great six-pack. But her and her husband are aging rapidly. Like rapidly. So yeah, I knew innately that exercise was a no-no. I can walk around the block. I can walk up and down hills. I might be a tiny bit sore, but that's okay. My body, my body is able to repair itself very quickly. It doesn't last very long because that's the healing process. And I'm good. The body was not meant to go on these continuous, types of regimes, these exercise regimes. That's basically torture to your body. Like seriously, torture to your body. So, so there you go. That is now the scientific reasoning behind why exercise is not allowed. That is the scientific reasoning why exercise is not allowed. Because when you're doing so much exercise and you're trying to heal, you're creating all these natural killer cells. And you're already taking in, you already have issues in your body, your mutations that are also causing more natural killer cells. So you're undermining the process. So no, exercise is not healthy. If you need to move around, then go take a nice little tiny walk around your neighborhood in the sunshine. Nothing crazy, but joining a gym is overboard. If you're so where you feel like you need to move around, then drink more juice and get your insides all figured out. Get your body where it needs to be. Now, if you're a bodybuilder, okay, you got a lot. I mean, if you're an athlete or a bodybuilder, yes, you're definitely going to be dealing with, trying to get in front of that 8 ball, because every time that you do all your exercise and everything and you're not doing enough dilly juice, you're undermining the process. So yeah, people who are athletes, who are bodybuilders, who are in the, the sports industry, playing sports as a profession, your shelf life is very, very short. And right now you probably can't afford to take a break and do the jelly juice because it takes about a year for your body to actually heal. And then when you're doing the sports, you got to be drinking way more of my jelly juice to offset those opioid effects of the endorphins from the exercise of that sport. That's right, Atara. Cleaning my bathroom is enough exercise. So yeah, I mean, my mom does a lot of exercise. She's a yogist. She walks to the beach all the time. She does a lot of stuff. She's taught by the system. You got it, just like physical education in schools. It's all brainwashing. It all creates endorphins. And then they say, then the sex education, more endorphins. That's why it's once a week that I tell my husband, once a week we have sex. Once a week. You have to start having sex every single day? No. It's not natural to me. It's natural to him. He could have sex every day. You know why? Because his body's breaking down. So, yeah. So exercise and sex creates endorphins, natural killer cells. It's a drug. It's an addiction of sorts. And when you stop exercising and you stop having sex, you're going to live longer. Okay, it's all connected, you guys. Hello, Deborah Reagan. It's all connected, guys. Some of you still have a ways to go before you actually extricate yourself from the matrix. And it's going to be a fight. I know it. Yo, yeah, Atara, I know once a week is quite a lot, but at least it gives me a week to kind of just recover from the last time. If I could have it once a month, I would have it. My husband couldn't stand for it. So, yeah. So everything that's out there in the matrix, is death-inducing, trajectory of death. So yes, you're in a very unpopular, category now, which is pro-life. This is a real true pro-life. This is not the whole thing with the whole abortion stuff. Yeah, it's, a pro-life faction of it. But really, pro-life is when you actually understand the different mechanisms of your body and what these different hormones do. And when you're on hormone replacement therapy, you're actually causing more harm than good to your body. And that's why all these pills and powders and supplements are a complete no-no, because they create natural killer cells. They create an opioid effect. They induce antibodies. Exercise, and creates endorphins. Endorphins are antibodies, they're natural killer cells, they're opioids. They are painkillers. Endorphins are painkillers. And when you're an sexercise addict, you are inducing painkiller opioid effects to your body. You're anesthetizing your body. So yeah, when you come, right now I'm at the point where I can't give up sex with my husband. So I'll do it once a week. That's fine. I can handle it. I'll drink my juice to deal with that. But exercise and sexercise creates endorphins. Endorphins create an opioid effect. It creates antibodies. It creates natural killer cells. And then that basically destroys the body. And there are so many people out there who are very elderly, who are sex therapists. Look at Dr. Ruth, a sex therapist. She is so aged. The reason why she's a sex therapist because she's on a death trajectory. So she knows all the ways to manipulate the body and create that opioid, endorphin, euphoric feeling. That's what euphoria is. No different than taking, these drugs that create that first euphoria. Exercise creates a euphoria. Sex creates euphoria. All of that. Life actually is freaking painful. But I enjoy it because here's the thing. I enjoy my life. I enjoy not being triggered. I enjoy not having that PMS, PMDD every freaking month. I don't have to go do exercise to get those endorphins that create an opioid anesthetizing, effect. I don't need to do that. Yeah, riding your bike is great. Just not because you're doing it for any specific reason. It's great to get some fresh air. You're hanging out in nature. That's fine. But when you're doing crazy exercise like going to the gym, when you're actively having sex all the time, that creates that endorphin, that opioid. It's a drug. And that's what I'm talking about. The mutations trigger that type of addiction. So I don't care who you are. And that's where the whole procreation categories come into play. When you are addicted to sex on so many levels, no matter what kind of sex it is, you're trying to get that drug feeling. And there's some more socially acceptable drugs than others. Therapy is a drug. Kombucha is a drug. Anything that creates endorphins, creates that opioid effect, is a drug. Right now, our life in the matrix is one big drug. Because a constant chase of that high, that endorphin rushing type of experience, is exactly what they promote and what they want everybody to be focusing on. That's why you have all these new rides and these new drugs in the market, whatever, if it's on a street drug or some designer drug or some, therapy, immunotherapy in the system. The system, the matrix, is one big drug. But I love my life. Porn is a drug. Kari, it's because of a death trajectory. Okay, when you're on a death trajectory, you're going to do things that are going to, try to get your body to then carry that genetic line forward. Whether or not you can have a kid, it doesn't matter. If you are in the act of some kind of sexual whatever, that is the body's instinct to then carry that genetic line forward. Reproduction is a sign of mutations. When you are reproducing, it's because your body's on a death trajectory. When you're engaging in the act of sex, regardless of what it is, that is the sign that the body's on a death trajectory. When you're constantly chasing whatever high it is, that pleasure center, that is the body drugging itself because it's creating all of these endorphins and antibodies, natural killer cells, and it's anesthetizing you. It's about balance. If you're aging, you are way imbalanced. So there's some of you who are aging, and it's because you're creating more natural killer cells, and you're probably on CBD, so you're anesthetizing your body, but you are on a death trajectory. It's when you stop the aging process to where you are regenerating faster than you're degrading is when you finally figured out the balance. Right now, those of you talk about balance, oh, I'm so balanced, and you're aging, your actions, your physiological makeup does not match with your mouth. That's why I tell people, do not speak on my Facebook unless you are exemplifying balance. And that's where I chase people off. They say, oh, I'm so balanced, but they're aging. No, you're not. If you're aging, you're way imbalanced. So be careful what you say on my Facebook. Because I'm trying to hold you guys accountable for what you say and what you look like and what you do, so you're not misleading people. So yeah, exercise. When you're doing exercise, it's a major imbalance. When you're having lots of sex and you're needing lots of sex, major imbalance. When you're having to then massage your pleasure center on a daily basis, whether you're eating, what you're reading, watching TV, it's an imbalance. So I try to balance out my pleasure center. You know, I like watching my Netflix show, but I can't. Now when I listen to my videos at night, like when I watch my videos, I can't listen to any more of the, any more of the negative stuff. So I'm listening to now biographies of like George Washington and the Revolutionary War. I'm like, wow, now I'm going to sleep to the Revolutionary War and George Washington biographies. I'm not even, watch or reading anything about or listening to anything about satanic. I'm not reading or listening to anything about, the New World Order or MK Ultra or child trafficking or all of these crazy things that we're all, are like, feeding upon right now. And Facebook is really famous for that. No, now I'm like listening to boring stuff. I can barely even watch The Real Housewives. I do watch maybe one, which is the OC, but I can't stomach the rest because it's all antibody producing. It's all about that endorphins, arguments and all that stuff create endorphins and then creates natural killer cells, which then creates and destroys the body. And everybody's having sex and everybody's horny and that all kind of, and they're all doing exercise. So that's what I'm saying, is that the way what you entertain is going to be directly reflect to your biochemistry. Wow. It's like my brain is working way too fast right now for me. So that's why it seems like I feel like in a lot of ways I'm alone out here. And I'd be alone in California too. Anyone that's doing Jelly Juice is truly alone in when you think about your mentality. Because what people are doing out there is in a death trajectory. Not everybody can hear this, Janie. It's okay. But yeah, I'm not even mad at people who are what they are. People are going to do what they're going to do. And I accept them. I understand this is where they're at with their biochemistry. And some people are too far gone. That's okay. You love them until they decide for themselves that they want to be on a life trajectory. You can only introduce and then you step back. But I don't mind being alone. Because when you're alone, you finally get away from the distractions and all the drama. And you're finally able to then sort out and problem solve and then strategize your next move. I love the fact that my husband's a truck driver. He's here, part-time. And then the rest of the time, I get to think about I'm able to, I don't have any distractions, no drama. I don't have other people's energies, just me and sugar. And then Facebook. And then maybe my bills and going to the grocery store and the gas station. That's about it. That's the extent of my life, but that's okay. I don't need the extra energies in my life because not everybody's on the same wavelength as me. But I'm very, very, very happy with my routine. Very happy with my routine. And when people do exercise and they are overweight, they're just producing a bunch of natural killer cells that is destroying them. So yeah, they may lose weight, but now they're on this major death trajectory. Because losing weight, yes, it does take the pressure off of your other organs and other systems. But now you have all this overabundance of antibodies in your body that you're not neutralizing, and you're not repairing the damage that caused you to be overweight to begin with. When you do jelly juice, you're actually going to lose the weight because the body is going to process out and dissolve and purge out the pathogens that are causing the imbalance in your hormones that had you accumulate all of this excess weight. When you're walking around the freaking track 24/7 because you're trying to lose weight like the biggest loser, they're just inducing more endorphins, more opioids, more drugs for your system. That's why all of these things on TV, The Biggest Loser, all these exercise gyms and sexercise regimes, completely destroys people. But but hey, you look good going out, but your face will tell you. But then people are getting like all these facials and exfoliating type practices, and they're like, oh, I look like I'm 50. I look like I'm 40, but I'm really 50, right? And they got like some exfoliating thing done, and then they're putting down on their Facebook, oh yeah, and drink this honey and ginger and lemon and all this stuff, and they're doing all these holistic crap. You're like, I don't have time for that. So yeah, just because you lost weight, just because you tapped into the drug of your body, because that's what adrenochrome is. It's adrenaline. It's a drug. It massages the pleasure center. That's all it does. It's the natural painkiller. No different than taking CBD oil or kratom or some opioid. Everything is natural. It's what you do with it is what the difference is. Blows my freaking mind. So, Kari goes, oh my God, wouldn't it be wonderful if a contestant on the Biggest Loser wins from doing the JJ protocol? I'm sure. Well, they have to show, their what is it, their virtual diary that they're lifting weights or running around. But yeah, I guess it really isn't too exciting to watch somebody drink jelly juice and poop, going up and down the stairs and pooping and sitting on their couch and then dealing with the pain and be like, oh my God, it would completely like traumatize the population that is so used to anesthetizing themselves, so used to tapping into their endorphins on a 24/7, so used to tapping into their pleasure center 24/7. And that's exactly what the system does. They anesthetize you with elements that they can give you as well as your own painkillers, your endorphins. That's what they're doing. Wow, that's crazy. So if you're aging, you have nothing to say about balance. I don't want anybody that says, oh, I know about balance and you shouldn't, do this. It shouldn't be an imbalance if you are actively aging and you believe that people should die. If you believe people should die, your whole thing about knowing about balance is hypocritical. That's how I'm able to hold those holier than thou people accountable, because either they believe in death or they don't. So you got to choose. And then if you say, whoa, immortality, what? Then you're like, hey, see you later, bye. All right, I got to go. Take care. Have a good day.